Okay.
So I heard that there was actually a hockey team again over in Columbus, where you live.
Yep, there used to be. That team got sold, I think, last year or the year before. The team was here for
Hmm.
about, I think, 10 or 12 years. Some of the guys used to play for the NHL, and
Hmm.
they were on their way down, still
Wow.
wanted to play.
Yeah.
Uh,
Hey, Bill, by the way, we can't really see you very well. Your forehead's cut off, by the way. All I can see is mostly your eyes. There we go, a little higher. There we go.
all right. Just a matter of
And
where to put this, I guess.
well, you want to see your shirt, right? I mean, let people look at your shirt. What does it say? Does your PT even lift? Have you know what? The funny thing is that reminds me of something that happened at the last San Diego Pain Summit when I first met Neil O'Connell, who was the keynote speaker there. You were there, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well, yeah, you and Pedro were sitting in front of me in front of the class where he was
Right.
teaching for the workshop. When I shook his hand, there were two things in mind that I did not expect about Neil O'Connell. Number one, um, we the dude is thick. I
Yeah.
mean, the dude reminds me of could be an extra in the movie Braveheart. The guy could probably wield a battle axe and cleave a horse in two.
Uh-huh.
And hey, Roderick, how you doing, man? Good to see you. And and second, the dude's got really like thick forearms and biceps.
Oh, really?
Dude, I shook his hand. I thought he was gonna crush it. I got pretty small hands for a guy, but
Uh,
that doesn't mean shit. But but yeah. And I was like, no, how many PTs have I met since the first San Diego Pain Summit has really thick forearms like a bodybuilder?
right.
I mean, I shook hands. Who else did we met there? Oh boy. How many PTs were there anyway? Corey Blickenstaff kind of has some guns. Hewitt definitely have some big fucking guns, man. And I'm just thinking, like, all the guys have very thick. I was just standing there in the back room, like, admiring from a distance.
Well,
What's up
first,
with that?
physical therapy is still not a dominated male occupation.
Really?
No, it's balancing out. I mean, when I was in school and I got out way back in '87, we only had, I think, 7 out of 31 students were males, and that was the largest class the school that I went to had ever had. The biggest class they'd ever had male wise prior to mine was 4 males,
What
and
year was that?
that was what the four males. That would have
Well,
been '84 probably.
1984. Okay.
Yeah.
You had Jerry Curls back then. I saw your pictures.
Ah, I've done that off and on. It
Hmm.
depends on how much I want to do the music thing, and it depends on
Uh,
how much I wanted to be the rebel at work because I had a ponytail for a while and all this other stuff,
hmm.
and that was back when I used to wear a tie to work. Don't do that anymore. Of course, you try to be as good a clinician as you can. Plus, you want to do there were studies out back then about wearing a tie and a lab coat and
What?
all that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
Didn't. Oh, okay.
as far
Didn't.
as, go ahead.
No, but you mentioned about you said there was a study that looked at about the lab coat and the ties and how that affects patients' perspective and their outcomes.
Just, do you have more respect for this guy, this guy, this guy? Same guy, just in different contexts. And of course,
Hmm.
everybody looked at the guy in the white lab coat and the tie, and then that was a little bit more respectful than the person who just had the tie, than the person who just had a polo shirt.
Hmm.
Of
Or a
course,
Hawaiian shirt.
oh yeah. And then, of course, coming out as a new grad, I wanted to hit as many buttons as I could just because I was a new grad. And
Oh
then
wow. Okay.
back then, the place I was at, we had to wear a tie, and then eventually you evolve into not having to do that. And of
Hmm.
course, now I wear a polo pair of jeans and tennis shoes.
Hmm.
And I'm
Yeah.
not actually, when I had my clinic, we were wearing shorts.
What kind of shorts? Cargo shorts or like short shorts? I
Not
know.
sure.
It was
In the
back in the 80s, right? In the 80s, right? Like it was like short shorts back then.
'70s and '80s. But no, no. I mean, we opened our clinic in July of 2006, and me and my partner, we were looking at each other because we had like 3 weeks before we opened. We were going, what are we wearing? We didn't even think about that. We're thinking about opening the clinic and all that stuff. So I thought, dude, it's kind of hot. I'm wearing shorts.
Well, you
So,
live in freaking the south of Georgia. It's like hot and humid in the summer, like right
West,
now, right?
yeah, I mean, it gets hot, but you got air conditioning. So,
Well, that's pretty much a given, pretty much. Yeah.
but
Ladies and
the reason why I live in the South, and it could have been the Southwest, or it could have been in San Diego or anything, it was just that I don't like snow. Snow was okay growing up, because I'd lived in Germany, Colorado, Kansas, but I don't want to shovel anything. I don't like, I'd rather take off clothes and put on clothes.
well, I mean, well, definitely. I think some people would definitely highly agree with that. I mean, I definitely would definitely prefer that. But yeah, I feel yeah. Well, in case, ladies and gentlemen, for those couple of people who are watching it right now, thank you for watching this. This gentleman here is one of my oldest Facebook friends, and I don't mean old as in age. I mean old as in time. I I think it was like 2010 or 2011 when I first met you online, but I literally hated his guts, basically, people. I really hate this mofo right here, this Momofuku right here, because he contradicted everything that I was posting on the Albuquerque personal training forum.
I think it was the Albuquerque one, yeah.
Yeah, that's when I met you. Yeah, you had that picture of you doing the splits and who's this guy who think he knows it all, back then about fitness and weightlifting. And he contradicted everything that I was posting on there, but then again, I think about it and it makes a lot of sense. And so, yeah.
So it's kind of like Adam Meekins is right now, right?
Oh, it was like that. It was well, in this case, Adam Meekins would be much worse. And but that was way back before even Adam Meekins was, gaining any attention at all. And he was just a regular sports physio back then, right? 2010, 2011.
He's a youngster.
He's a youngster.
Yeah, he's a youngster. Everybody's younger than I am, so, but that's, he reminds me of me probably about 25 years ago. And so, you met a watered down version of the 25-year ago guy, 2010. So
yeah, that was 8 years ago.
Right. Okay. So, back up a few more years and it would have been Adam Meekins.
Yeah, we met back then. And so this guy, listeners, basically this guy, Bill Jones, I mean, he is a man of many talents. And if I ever live to be his age, I pretty much, oh my God.
His age, okay.
Oh, Pedro, you can laugh all you want, man. I'm just teasing you, man. Pedro, I love you, man. Okay, you don't have to be like all serious and shit. No, so troll all you want. I don't care. I'm not even paying attention to you right now. Anyway, ignore me.
You can read something that I can't see. So,
well, it's all on Facebook right now, so you can look at it later, look at it now if you want to. I don't care. Where were we? Yeah, but Bill Jones here is a man of many talents because he is, as far as I know, you're not only a PT and a talented guitarist for a rock band back in 1982 with the Jerry curls and the mullet, and he's also a personal trainer. And you also work as a licensed massage therapist. What is it, Florida that you were licensed in?
Yeah, I got my license in Florida because back in the day, that was the way that PTs could treat patients without having to have we didn't have direct access in Florida at that time. And so that was the way PTs were doing it. And so the way I did it, I was teaching anatomy and phys at a massage school. And part of my payment was you get to sit in here and take the boards.
Oh, okay.
That's what I did. And then I moved to Florida to Georgia, and they didn't have licensure then. And then I let my license lapse in Florida. But anyway.
So basically,
yes, lapse too. So.
Okay. That's cool. And in case you haven't wondered anything, I'm going to share a little bit on Facebook here for those of you who are following. This is actually one of my favorite. First of all, Bill Jones runs also a boot camp out of his garage, which is a nice, balmy 99 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like close to what, like 40 degrees Celsius. And this is, in fact, this is one of the videos that got me really interested in what he is doing in his boot camp. I mean, it's not anything elaborate. There's nothing really to sell, except that it's pretty much the way he edited and did his videos on the personal training certification. There was one time back in I think like 2012 or 2013 when there was a huge boom of all kinds of certifications, like fitness certifications that personal trainers can get over a weekend on how to use a sandbag.
Yeah.
Get certified for $500 to learn how to use a sandbag for your clients to train. And I'm like, okay. There's already a bunch of sandbags in the gym where I was working out at San Diego State at the time, and I'm wondering, and then Bill and I were just kind of kicking back that one day, and then he came out with this keg certification, which I had just posted on Facebook right here on the comments. So feel free to take a look at it anytime. And this is like, wow, he literally did it with a freaking metal beer keg. And you can get certified. How much did you charge for it again, Bill? How much did you charge for the beer keg certification for?
Zero.
Zero.
Well, see, that's the thing, is that it was a complete farce. And it was because of the Albuquerque thing. And actually, Ryan Crandall, that's started that page, he wanted to do that Viper thing. And I thought, well, crap, that thing that was, I guess they still have Viper certification.
They do?
I don't know. I haven't seen it in a long time, but it's a small cylinder made out of plastic or rubber or whatever.
Rubber. It's rubber.
Yeah, and I thought, well, geez, you can do all this with a keg. So I got a bunch of kegs in my gym, and and so I thought, well, crap, I think I'll just do this. And then what happened was I got enamored with it because I started making up all kinds of stuff. But the weird thing is when I put it out on Facebook, I was actually getting hits on that. People were sending me, direct messages and saying, hey, how much is this? I'm thinking, dude, this is I'm just kind of farting around here, And so that was a big joke as far as I was concerned. And then, of course, I made up some other, kind of crappy certifications. Like somebody had a big deal about doing curls. And I thought, crap, you can do any damn curl you want to, and you'll still get a damn arm that's worth a crap. You just got to get in there and bust your ass. So I mean, there's just so much, there's just so much crap. To me, it's so much crap out there. It's just a matter of getting in the gym and lifting the weight. I mean, if you want to get bigger, I mean, it's not rocket science at all. I mean, I competed in bodybuilding for 9 years. And and it's just a matter, you want to get big, you want to get big fast, but you have to be patient. It's just like if you're overweight and you want to lose weight, well, you just gotta have a plan, and you got to be patient. So anyway, kind of going on.
Yeah. Anyway, that's kind of, it makes sense that people want shortcuts and stuff, but I don't think even now, I mean, after like what 10 years or 15 years in the fitness industry, I mean, even a lot longer as well. We still see that kind of quick fix mentality as well.
Oh yeah.
So what kind of gimmicks have you seen? If you're listening, go ahead and type in any kind of new fitness gimmicks that you would like us to check out, because I have not been in touch with much of the personal training / fitness profession for a very long time. Currently, I've been doing a lot of PubMed and chill recently, so not much to do on the island, really. What else you got going on, Bill?
Well, I mean, I'm working part-time because I don't want to work full-time. I'm thinking about opening another clinic. And the main reason I'm thinking about opening another clinic really is because my gym is in a warehouse. So I have heat in the summer and I have air conditioning in the winter. And so I'm thinking, well, if I opened up another PT clinic like I used to have, then I can have air conditioning for my gym. because basically everything I do movement for PT wise now is all movement based. So I rarely touch anybody. And anyway, so really the only equipment I would buy as a PT at this point would be a chair. And that's it. I mean, as opposed to the clinic that I used to have that we spend, multiple thousands of dollars on all this equipment we had and all this other stuff. But, I definitely would not buy an ultrasound machine, an E-stim machine, tape. I definitely wouldn't have a Whirlpool. I mean, but that's me.
Mm-hmm. So it sounds like the same kind of philosophy that I once saw Jason Silvernail had at his clinic when he was serving in somewhere, if I remember correctly. And Jason, if you're listening to this, correct me if I'm wrong. If it is at a clinic he established out in Iraq or Afghanistan, one of those places, where it's very minimum equipment or minimum everything. You don't have a lot of space, and you have to set it up quickly and dismantle it quickly if you need to.
And I think depends on your treatment philosophy and all that, but I think you can you can damn sure do it, and you can do it easy, you can do it inexpensively. But it's just a matter of you have to throw away the crap that you learn in school. I mean,
you got to throw the crap away you learn in school, such as.
Yeah. And that's true not only for PT, but manual or massage therapy, even personal training for that matter, because I mean, there's just so much crap out there. I kid around and say that I had my occupation as far as personal training was before that occupation ever existed. I mean, going through undergraduate, I was running a gym or a health club, or we call it a health spa back in those days. And
health spa. Hey, Tim, you hear that? Tim, back then they call it a health spa. Yeah. I'll get his attention right here.
And the thing is that my title back then was the guy who signed you up and put you on a program. That's how long my title was. There was no title of personal trainer, that kind of stuff. And I got nothing against personal trainers. I mean, I got a personal trainer certification. I had the CSCS thing for a while. There was one time, and I hate to say this, but it was true. At this time, I thought, I used to tell people, you're only as good as your last certification.
You're only as good as your last certification. Wow.
I would never say that shit again. Because that's totally bogus. Totally bogus.
Oh my God.
Long enough, you'll go through this bogus thing of everything that you did, and I'm sure you did because of that. Now at least you don't think that FMS has anything to do with anything. Right? That's the most totally unfunctional testing, whatever you want to call, that's out there. I mean, nobody ever does an overhead squat in anything functional. You never do a lunge with, one arm and external rotation, the other one internal rotation. I mean, as soon as I saw that, I thought, well, crap, I don't have to go to this because it's not functional. Of course, the guy's making a bootleg of money off of him.
Oh, I'm so sorry, man. I just had to excuse myself for a second here, and I think I may have just kind of pissed myself here. Well, yeah, that makes a lot of sense here because I used to be on that crowd when I met you actually, and that was a time when I was still trying to figure out what the hell was I doing, with my clients.
But you bought into it.
I bought him for 7 years at least 7 years.
And you bought into it. But what you bought into was something that some authority figure had mentioned to you, and it trickled down, and it seemed to work. But to me, it's the same thing with my manual therapy background. I mean, I was strictly 100%, 99% manual therapy from 1992 until 2007.
Okay.
And 2007, I just happened to meet another therapist and kind of turned my head around. And, and I got off my high horse of thinking, well, I was the, guy with the hands. I mean, I'd even thought about having my hands insured and all that other bullshit back in the time, But but that's a thought process. Matter of fact, I've had three major mentors in my career.
Okay. Can you tell me more about them?
Yeah, the first guy, when I got out of school, I was thrust because of my confidence and because I did have managerial experience with my health club or health spa. But I was thrust into running a directorship at a hospital that I did not want to do, but I was looking at it as a way to climb the ladder. And so I was, ramping up, patients and all this other stuff, business basically. But then, I worked on a Christmas day in an acute care hospital. I thought, I got to get the hell out of here. So I was buying into another business, actually in Auburn, Alabama. And this guy was 62 years old, which, hell, I'm going to be 62 next year. But he could have kicked my ass way back then. I mean, this guy was a football coach, collegiate and high school football coach that said, I'm getting tired of education. He went to PT school and he was in his 40s. And this, obviously, a long time ago. But I remember the first time the PT Journal came out while I was living there. And he just said, hey, did you read such and such last night? And I said, what are you talking about? He says, in the Journal. I said, well, I just got that yesterday. And he goes, yeah, you should have read it already. And I thought, okay. And so essentially, that got me thinking, well, I got to think about everything. And so stayed there for about a year, went down to South Florida, totally floored when I was in South Florida because nobody cracked a book since they graduated. I mean, it was the most dismal place at that point. And I'm sure there's some good therapists down there, but
yeah.
The majority of, and it's true with every occupation, not just PT, but the majority of people are satisfied with being either adequate or less than adequate. Nobody really wants to, that's the neat thing about the Pain Summit in San Diego, to me, is that everybody is on a page to get better than they are. And I think you should always continue that. I mean, hell, I remember my starter wife, when I lived in Florida, she got not totally pissed off, but she was kind of irritated when we were on our honeymoon in Jamaica. And I'm reading Stanley Paris's Spine 1 or S1 manual, which is about that thick. And, she couldn't believe I was reading that on the beach. And I'm thinking, well, crap, apparently that's why she was the starter wife. But now my wife, my present wife of over 20 years, she understands that I still buy textbooks, or that I still want to get better than where I'm at because, and that's what happened too, though, with my second mentor. Well, let me go back to my first mentor because this struck me really, really hard. He was one time in his office with his head down like this. And I thought he had a bad headache. And I said, dude, you okay? He goes, yeah. He says, I just don't know whether I should charge Mr. So-and-so for that hot pack. And back then, what we charged was, like your primary charge, like say therapeutic exercise, would have been $24. Anything above that, we charge $4. And I just told him, I said, Les, I said, if it's really bothered you that much, I'll pay you the $4. But what he said after that, he goes, well, what you have to understand, though, is that everybody that goes through this PT stuff or any kind of hospitalization, they have to pay a percentage. Mm-hmm. If you try to ramp up too much, what happens is, 20% of a big bill is a big amount of money for some of these people. Now, this was a guy who was driving around in a Mercedes, had 20 acres, but he was thinking about the person in front of him. And so that got me thinking more along those lines. And then, moved to South Florida after that, then came back to Columbus, Georgia to work with this manual therapist from Holland, who's a magnificent guy. We got along pretty good, great for about 10 years. He didn't have an exercise background like I did. And then we started butting heads. And then we couldn't, I learned a lot of stuff from him manual wise. Mm-hmm. And, but we had to end the relationship. But I remember one time, and I had put this on Facebook before too. he had stopped me. We were both at a doctor's party one time, and of course we were drinking beer, like probably not this, but
What is that?
it's called Cat Spit Stout.
Cat spit stuff. Who comes up with these weird ass names?
Who knows? But I'm buying it anyway.
Like belching beaver. Like Jason Erickson brought that to the beach house at the Pain Summit last time. Belching beaver.
Should have been there.
Well, that was a local brand. Sorry, go ahead.
This is not local. Anyway, so I run into my other mentor, and he goes, "Well, I hope." Now he's saying this in a Dutch accent, which I cannot do. I can't even do an Asian accent. But he tells me, he goes, "I hope you're not telling people that you're doing what I'm doing, because I changed some things." The only thing I said to him was, "Well, Tom, are your patients getting better any faster?" Pregnant pause. He didn't say a word. I said, "I didn't think so." So I said, "Apparently I don't have to tell anybody I'm doing what you're doing at all anymore." And so, we still see each other on occasion. I mean, we're cordial, but he's still stuck in making changes, but the changes are not helping the patient as much as it's a change that he does for the therapist. And I still got good friends that still work under his, I call them disciples now. And basically they just haven't grown out of that because, the system, quote unquote, works. And that's the hardest thing to give up. And it's the same thing that you probably felt when I was bugging you about that FMS thing. It's hard to give up what you think is working. It's hard to. I mean, it's totally. I mean, my transition from manual to exercise was a 2.5-year period. And it was like that because I kept trying to see what I could do to help the person in front of me help themselves instead of needing these hands, that kind of crap. And I still get humbled with that. Geez, I got a patient right now that I used to see, like probably once or twice a year for a period of time because I had these hands that she needed to be, having her back loosened up and all this other stuff. And then through a movement-based thing, I mean, and this is so many years later. I mean, I hadn't seen her since 2010 something. She shows up on my doorstep at this place that I'm working at, and she didn't know I was going to be there. And she was saying, "Well, how come you're not doing what you used to do?" And I said, "Well, let me show you something that might work better, or at least the same. But at least it's something you can do on your own." And now she's got better motion, better balance, better everything than I'd ever accomplished for her by poking around on her back, that kind of stuff. So I was humbled by that in that, geez, I mean, there's, and I totally expect me to be different 10 years from now. Hopefully I'm still doing burpees, not because I like them, but who knows?
Yeah. Well, you are quite an inspiration for me, actually, because all the stuff you've been doing and what you're still doing now, you haven't really, oh boy, still got a lot to learn. I am here.
It's a continuum. It's a continuum.
Yeah. By the way, thank you again for your donation to not this year, but last year's San Diego Pain Summit on the keg of beer. No, the photo booth donation.
2 years in a row.
2 years? Wait,
Yeah.
I thought it was just last year.
That was last year, and I was there. The year before that, I did it too, but I wasn't there because I had some kind of problem going on here. I can't remember if it was me, my wife, or my dogs, but somebody had some health issues, so I couldn't make it out there. But I still don't. The thing is that I remember the first time I went was the second year was on, because the first time I thought, well, I don't, I like the speakers and everything, but I don't know, so I did the online thing. And then I went there the second time and I just asked her, hey, you don't have any sponsors. I mean, I know how these things are. I mean, if you own your own clinic, you always have people trying to get money off of you. But at the same time, I mean, there's good reasons for that. And so there was some stuff that we used to sponsor too locally, and and I have no problem with that. I think it's like locally here, a certain amount of money that we have for property tax goes to the local school board. I don't have any kids in public school. I don't have any kids that live in my house anymore because my kid lives up in Seattle now. Anyway, but I have no problem with that. But you do have people that have a problem. Well, I don't have any kids. I shouldn't pay taxes on that. Well, I believe that everybody should be educated, and I always thought growing up that I was always going to be behind because there's so much information out there. And I truly thought that by now everybody would be so much farther ahead of me knowledge-wise. And right now it's like, geez, you look at the news and I'm sitting there going, I can't believe people are so damn stupid. I mean, geez, there are just, flat earthers and all this other shit. I mean, I'm flabbergasted by the lack of intelligence. It's like, geez, all you got to do is pick up a book,
Yeah, speaking of that, yeah, I totally feel you here. Hey, Bill, speaking of that, what do you think has there been any progress, any changes you've seen in the PT profession since you graduated PT school back in 1980s, 85, 84, 85?
I got out in 87.
87, okay.
I mean, there's a huge amount of different. There's more males involved now than females. In some instances, you have more respect.
More respect.
More respect.
How so? How so?
Well, I think part of it is because you're more out there as opposed to just the doctor manipulating the whole course of things. And of course, I remember when insurance paid for stuff. Geez, if somebody went to, I remember when nobody got a reminder for anything. I mean, you were an adult. Here's your piece of paper. Come back next week. And then it's just a marketing ploy to say, well, we'll give you a call and you can come on in. And then everybody does it. And now everybody expects to do it because, you're a human being, but obviously we've regressed to the fact that we need text messages and all this other crap because, as an adult, you can't be responsible enough to show up to your own damn appointment, But anyway, insurance worked on this. A lot of people's education and all that other stuff. Insurance is just, insurance is right now, doctors and PTs, it's all run by the insurance companies and they don't give a shit about their clients at all, but it's like, because they're just trying to make the big bucks. And I get that having owned a business, but the thing is that you have to care about the client, and if you don't care about the client, and I know PTs that say they do, but they operate completely different, and that kind of stuff. And that's just not, to me, not the right thing to do. But on the other hand, that's me, so everybody's got their own, I guess, philosophy of care, or at least they should. That was one thing I learned from my middle mentor is that you should have a philosophy of care, and he did. And so, mine has evolved, and it's going to continue to evolve, not only with what we learn, but also with how healthcare is delivered and these kinds of things.
I've got some homework to do, actually. And almost run out of time here, Bill, but thanks for doing all this. One more question, actually.
You can ask 2 or 3 if you want.
I'm sorry, what?
I said you can ask 2 or 3 more questions if you want, because I still have a third.
Do you like pineapples on a fucking pizza?
Yeah.
Oh, fuck, man. Hey,
the first time that happened was...
I did not even ask where you got started, man.
This goes way back to when I was dating my starter wife, and she was working at Godfather's Pizza. I don't even know if you remember a Godfather's Pizza.
Yes, okay. There was a Godfather's near where I used to live when I was a teenager. We played video games there and had pizza all day.
And so she, since she worked there, she would call me before she came over to my apartment and said, "Hey, do you want a pizza?" Sure. She goes, "What do you want on it?" A lot of meat. And she goes, "You want anything else?" I said, "Yeah, there's we just made shit up because they were just trying to get rid of some dough." And so, ever since then, I thought, well, this is pleasant, but then, and then of course you had gone to Mellow Mushroom one time and got a calzone that you liked.
Mm-hmm.
one time, and the original Mellow Mushroom was up in Atlanta, and I went there. Not, I mean, I was in a fraternity, and so we had a big thing going on in Atlanta. And now I vaguely remember what went on that night, but it was a dump. I mean, it was just the first Mellow Mushroom was just a dump, but the pizza was great.
Wow, it was.
We're totally corporate now, but back then it was not a corporate thing. That was way back there.
Mellow Mushroom. Oh my gosh. I can still taste the butter crust when I was in Denver last time. Last time I had one. They have pretty good damn food there actually for a non-Italian pizzeria.
The neat thing about that place is, or one of the neat things, the local one we have here. I mean, my wife and I like going to movies, so we usually stop there on a Sunday afternoon. What I want is the new beers if they have a new one rotating through. But the interesting thing is that the employees like the place, so they'll actually stay there after they get off. How many places would you work for? Home Depot? Would you hang out afterwards? Probably. If you work for most restaurants, servers leave.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I mean, the nucleus that they've developed, at least with this one, because I haven't really been to any other ones. And I know each and every one's going to have their own personality as far as businesses are concerned. But these guys, I mean, they just have each other's backs. And I mean, it's just a real cool environment. So, I mean, so I kind of like going there because, they see me and they go, well, here comes that guy who likes drinking a lot of different beers.
Oh my gosh. Okay. You make me want to visit you in Columbus pretty soon when it gets a lot colder.
Well,
coming.
And then if I still don't have a heater, if I still have my warehouse, I'm talking about my gym, because I'm guessing if you showed up here, you'd have to work out.
Well, definitely will, because I am not working out in your balmy 99 degrees gym. I saw the pictures, man. It's crazy.
The hottest it's ever been was 104. That was last.
No. Just thinking about it makes me want to sweat in my balls right now. So I'm not even going there. Anyway, no, thank you. I don't do well in heat. Okay, Bill. So that's what time we got here so far. And thank you for sharing your thoughts, even a little bit about what you do and your little history about PT culture that I didn't even know about that you didn't mention. So, and Pedro, thanks for watching. Again, I think he and I are one of your biggest fans. Not because we're Asian, nothing to do with that. Just who you are. So.
Okay.
All right, Bill.
Such young Asians.
Yeah. Pedro, no pineapple pizza, please. That's like squeezing blackheads and put it on a pizza. No.
No, it's not, damn it.
I tried it. It tastes horrible. I don't like it. I think I'll give it all to you. I'll have my own pizza. Thank you very much. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Jones, thank you. I'll see you guys next time for another talk with another special guest.
Thanks for having me.